Have you ever asked yourself why love never feels like it lasts? Why the people you give your heart to eventually pull away, or why no one seems to truly see you? Carl Jung believed the answer lies not in them, but in the parts of you that remain unseen, even by you. We spend our lives trying to be lovable, kind, successful, attractive, hoping someone will finally choose us. But what if the love you're chasing won't come until you choose yourself? Until you face the parts of you that you've spent years hiding? This video dives into Carl Jung's profound insights about self-worth, the hidden patterns behind heartbreak, and why no one will love you until you understand this. Once the illusion begins to crack, once you start asking why you feel unseen, unworthy, or unloved despite your efforts, you inevitably arrive at the doorway of the shadow. Carl Jung called the shadow the dark side of the psyche, but not because it is evil or something to be feared. He called it dark because it is unconscious, hidden. The shadow is everything you've pushed away, locked behind emotional doors, buried deep so no one else could see. Not even you. It is your anger, your envy, your neediness, your shame, your desire to be powerful, to be wanted, to be free. It is the child inside you who was told to be quiet, the teenager who wasn't allowed to be weak, the adult who learned that vulnerability was dangerous. Over the years, you may have built a mask, one that shows the world you are fine, together, capable, confident. But beneath that mask, the shadow waits. Not to destroy you, not to haunt you, but to be seen. This is where many people stop. It's easier to chase love than to confront our own inner darkness. Easier to blame others for leaving than to sit with the loneliness that's lived in us for years. But Jung taught that until we face the shadow, it will control our lives, especially our relationships. Because what we don't own within ourselves, we project onto others. Have you ever been drawn to someone you knew was wrong for you, but couldn't resist? Have you ever overreacted to something small in a relationship, not knowing why you were so angry or afraid? That's the shadow leaking out, speaking through your patterns, your impulses, your pain. It's not your enemy. It's your invitation to heal. Love cannot exist where there is fear of the self. Because when you are terrified of your own emotions, your own needs, your own flaws, you will either hide from intimacy or demand your partner carry the burden of loving you completely, unconditionally, even when you cannot offer that to yourself. Jung believed that healing doesn't come from rejecting the shadow but from integrating it. You begin to listen to the pain instead of running from it. You admit your jealousy, your fear of abandonment, your craving for control. You sit in the discomfort of your truth. And slowly, the parts you thought made you unlovable reveal themselves to be the most human, most honest, and most in need of compassion. This is not about becoming perfect. It's about becoming whole. And that wholeness creates the space for a different kind of love, if that isn't built on illusions, but on truth. A love that doesn't require you to hide, to pretend, or to beg. A love that can only arise once you stop being at war with yourself. Because once you make peace with your shadow, you no longer seek partners who mirror your pain. You begin to attract those who mirror your healing. As you begin to confront the shadow and bring it into the light, something else begins to happen. You start to see your relationships for what they really are, mirrors. Carl Jung believed that every relationship we enter is not just a connection between two people, it is a reflection of the inner world we carry. The people we are drawn to, the ones who awaken deep emotions in us, love, rage, obsession, heartbreak, they are not just chance encounters. They are messengers, reflections, psychological mirrors that show us what we long for, and more importantly, what we have not yet accepted in ourselves. This is why falling in love can feel so intoxicating. It's not just about the other person, it's about the way they awaken parts of us we forgot existed. Their presence stirs something ancient and essential. We feel seen, we feel alive, but often, we are not being seen for who we are being seen for who we wish we were. And they are not loving us for our wholeness, but for the parts we've projected onto them. Likewise, when we are hurt in love, it often cuts deeper than any other wound. Why? because it doesn't just hurt our hearts, it threatens our sense of self. If the person who completed us walks away, what does that say about our worth? If they stop loving us, does it mean we were never lovable to begin with? Jung would urge us to look closer. He would say it's not the person who is the problem. It's the illusion you placed upon them. The belief that they would fix you, save you, make you feel whole. But no one can do that. No one is meant to. What if instead of asking why they hurt you, you asked what they revealed? What if the love that broke you open was never a mistake, but an opportunity, a mirror showing you your wounds, your fears, your unresolved pain? This is not about blaming yourself. It's about reclaiming your power. Because once you understand that every emotional reaction, every heartbreak, every trigger is a signal from within, you stop being a victim of love, and you begin to grow through it. You begin to see that your partner's distance mirrored your fear of intimacy, that their criticism mirrored your own self-judgment, that their betrayal mirrored the places where you had already abandoned yourself. And in this mirror, something sacred begins to happen. You stop begging others to heal what only you can. You stop demanding they give you what you've refused to give yourself: self-worth, compassion, safety. Instead, you begin to offer it inward, and that changes everything. Because once your love is no longer a mirror of your pain, it becomes a mirror of your healing. And that is the kind of love that not only lasts but liberates. There is a moment after the illusions have crumbled and the mirror has shown you your truth, where you must make a choice to keep seeking love from the outside, or to finally turn inward and offer it to yourself. This is where the journey takes a quieter, more sacred turn. It is no longer about relationships. It's about reconciliation with your past, with the person you've been running from your entire life, yourself. Carl Jung didn't talk about self-love as a trend. He didn't mean it as a feel-good slogan or a temporary mood booster. He spoke of it as a deep, spiritual process, a reunion with the parts of your soul you've exiled. To truly love yourself in the Jungian sense means to see your darkness and stay. To sit beside your brokenness without trying to fix it, erase it, or numb it. To finally say to yourself, even this is worthy of love. That kind of love does not come easily. It's not glamorous. It requires courage. It asks you to unearth the shame buried beneath your perfectionism, to feel the grief behind your anger, to witness the loneliness beneath your constant performing. And it requires something even more difficult: forgiveness. Forgiveness of yourself, for the years you didn't know better, for the love you gave away hoping to be chosen, for the promises you broke to yourself just to be accepted by others. Jung believed that healing begins with understanding, not punishment. The self doesn't need more discipline. It needs your presence. It needs your permission to feel, to exist, to be held with compassion. This kind of self-love changes the way you live. You no longer chase people to fill the void because you have stopped abandoning yourself. You no longer stay in relationships that drain your soul because you finally see your worth. You stop seeking someone to give you a purpose because you have remembered that your life already has meaning. And perhaps most beautifully, you stop seeing love as something you must turn. You start to see it as something you embody, something you radiate, not because you are flawless, but because you are finally whole. When you walk into the world from this place, everything shifts. You attract differently. You love differently. You choose differently. Because you are no longer operating from emptiness. You are offering from overflow. And that, Jung would say, is where real relationship begins. Not when two people need each other to feel complete, but when two whole selves come together not to fill a void, but to share the abundance of their being. After the illusions fall, after the shadow is faced, after the mirrors of love have shown us who we are, and after we have begun to offer love inward rather than outward, something profound begins to stir within. It's not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of something far deeper. Jung called this sacred process individuation. Individuation is not about becoming someone new. It's about uncovering the person you were always meant to be, beneath all the roles, masks, and expectations you've carried your entire life. It is the path of becoming whole, not perfect, not flawless but real, integrated, true. Most people never walk this path. They live entire lives trying to fit in, to belong, to be what their families, cultures, or partners need them to be. But inside, something always aches. A silent, persistent whisper, this isn't all I am. That whisper, that longing is the call to individuation. It's your soul inviting you home. The path isn't easy. It requires you to step outside of the identity you built to survive, to grieve who you thought you had to be, to stop measuring yourself by society's definitions of success and start listening to the deeper rhythms of your being. It demands that you reclaim the forgotten parts of yourself, your inner child's wonder, your artist's creativity, your warrior's strength, your mystic's knowing. You begin to realize that your complexity is not a flaw. It's a mosaic. Every wound, every joy, every failure, every fear, all of it belongs. All of it shapes you. And as you walk this path, something miraculous happens. You begin to experience a deeper kind of freedom, not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to be exactly who you are. You are no longer chained to approval, no longer enslaved by fear of rejection, no longer searching for someone else to tell you you're enough. You are enough because you finally know yourself. This kind of self-knowing transforms love. You no longer need someone to save you. You don't enter relationships to complete you. You enter them to share the richness of your inner world. You become capable of loving without possession, holding without controlling, giving without depleting. And the love you offer is clearer, cleaner, deeper. It isn't tangled in unmet childhood needs or unspoken desperation. It is rooted in truth, in presence, in a kind of spiritual maturity that only comes from walking through the fire of self-discovery and choosing to stay. Jung believed that the purpose of life is not happiness, it is wholeness. And individuation is the path that takes you there. It's long, it's lonely at times, but it's also luminous, because on the other side of it, you don't just find yourself, you become someone who can finally, truly love and be loved in return. After all the seeking, after all the pain and projection, the loneliness and loss, the masks and mirrors, something quiet arrives, not like a fire, but like a stillness, a soft knowing. You realize that the love you've been chasing in every face, in every touch, in every heartbreak wasn't out there. It was waiting inside you all along. This is the paradox Carl Jung understood so well. That love isn't found by looking outward. It's revealed by going inward. When you begin to see and accept the entirety of your being, light and shadow, past and present, you stop asking others to complete you. You stop searching for someone to rescue you. You stop needing love to save you, because you have saved yourself by finally seeing who you truly are. And then something unexpected happens. Love finds you. Not the desperate kind that burns fast and fades. Not the performance-based love that demands you hide your truth. But a love that feels like home. A love that arrives not because you begged for it, but because you became ready to receive it. You became someone who could hold love because you've held your own brokenness without shame. You've walked through the fire and stayed present. You've chosen truth over comfort, growth over safety, and authenticity over acceptance. You've stopped trying to earn love. You've started to live it. And the person who meets you there, they won't be looking for someone to complete them. They'll be walking their own path, not toward you, but alongside you, as a mirror not of your wounds, but of your healing, as a partner not in fantasy, but in becoming, as someone who sees you, all of you, and loves you because of your wholeness, not in spite of it. That is the love that lasts. That is the love that transforms. And it can only arise when you've had the courage to meet yourself fully. So if you're still looking for love, stop, pause, turn inward. Ask yourself, have I loved all of me? Have I met my shadow? Have I healed the child in me? Have I walked the path of becoming who I really am? Because until you do, no one will ever truly know you, and you will never truly feel loved. But when you do, when you finally come home to yourself. So don't run from your story. Own it. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're becoming, and the love you're looking for. It's waiting on the other side of your self-acceptance, ready to meet the real you.